36 original, split 1 in favour, against, abstentions carried, 2 in favour, against, abstentions carried. All you usual hecklers, don't do it all at the same time. It's a waste of time. The voting is now over. Batten.
Herr Kollege Batten.
Batten. Without microphone.
Microphone,
you are going
microphone, Herr Kollege.
May I do a point of order, please?
Gerne.
For rules of procedure, we're supposed to be able to vote properly, aren't we? You are going at a very fast speed that we can't get our hands up and down in the right place. Does that mean, are you just going by the voting list of the Socialists and the Liberals in front of you, or are you actually looking at the vote? Because we cannot get our hands up and down in the right place. Not a very good advert for the public gallery.
Well, first, I really try to keep an eagle eye on everything. I'm happy to do a check if you want. And I think a lot of things would really upset the gallery more than these hecklings. Point of order, another one? Just read.
Fast, the interpreters cannot keep up and the interpreters are getting it wrong.
They've missed the numbers wrong. They've got the numbers wrong several times.
Sie können gern auch auf den Bildschirmen.
Well, you can look at the screen. Just look at the screen. It's quite easy if you do that. Which takes us to 37 original, 2 parts. Part 1 in favour, against, abstentions carried, 2 in favour.
Zur Geschäftsordnung.
Point of order. Point of order. Mr. Coburn, if you can see that I'm reacting, you don't need to react several hundred times. You will get the floor. You have it now.
Right. Mr. Chairman, this was a disgrace to democracy. The speed at which you went through that voting list was obscene. I intend to send a copy of it to every member of the House of Commons and the House of Lords and the Scottish Parliament to show what a farce this place is. If that's your idea of democracy, sir, this place is a joke.
Bravo.
Herr Kollege.
Sir, you're perfectly free. You're perfectly free to send a text or a link can be sent to anybody in the world, any parliament in the world, reflecting our debates. I'm sure the colleagues will be extremely interested in that. But any colleague is also free. But any colleague is also free to take excerpts of Mr. Coburn's speeches and send it around as well. Mr. Corbett, on a point of order.
Mr. President, I believe our Parliament offers training courses for members. Perhaps UKIP members could be offered a training course, first in parliamentary democracy and second in learning how to read.
So, jetzt Herr Kollege.
Mr. Arnott.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Corbett, for your rather interesting intervention. If I might explain the problem to you, the difficulty is that there is one thing on a screen, there is another thing being said in one language, it is being translated into English, there are constant mistakes on that, we are reading the voting lists at exactly the same time, and mistakes are made when that entire process takes something like 5 to 6 seconds. There is something deeply wrong with the democratic system in which we don't know whether people have voted in favour or against, and even President Schulz earlier Even President Schulz was calling votes as having gone against when they'd actually gone in favour, or in favour when they'd actually gone against. That is a fundamental nonsense, and surely, Mr Corbett, if you believe, and you are, I believe, a true believer in the institutions and structures of this place, then you should be on our side on this one. You should be standing up against things that are going wrong, but you're not. And I look round and I see your Labour colleagues. My Labour colleague in the North East, she was smiling, joking, clapping at any suggestion that we could get things done quicker. That's a nonsense, an absolute nonsense. So can we please at least have the semblance of democracy in this place for once? It would be nice. And sadly, the anti-democratic comments of those who just want to get to lunch quicker, that lunch is not more important than democracy.
We have 24 official languages. It's completely impossible that in the Portuguese booth there's somebody who understands Finnish. So there are some languages that have to be interpreted on relay. The second interpreter needs to take that from the first relay, first interpreter. The English colleagues tend to be in a privileged position, but some colleagues, for example, may have got used to Greek speakers. Qatar is against, for example, I know that. But I don't feel that the for and against is a problem at all. Today, I think we had 101 roll call votes, and we had many open votes as well. If we were to take 10 seconds on each occasion when each language has been translated, then we're going to be inundated. We're really not going to get through this. We need to press forward in an efficient way. Now, if anybody believes that I've taken a wrong decision, that is not a problem. As long as one person says check, I check the vote. And I think maybe once I was wrong. I didn't really feel lost at all. If there was a problem, I always said, let us take an electronic check if I wasn't completely sure. It's quite an easy operation. If you see that the two big groups are voting in the same manner, then for you it might not be satisfactory, but it is at least clear where the majority is, and that means we can press on. But if you take 1 minute and you've got 750 colleagues, then we're talking about 12 hours. If we save 10 minutes, you know, we can get through things a lot quicker. So once again,
yes, many thanks, Mr. President, and please, my earlier remarks were intended really in response to Mr. Corbett's rather rude remarks towards those of us in UKIP. I completely understand the difficulties that you face. The reason that you face these difficulties, of course, is that there are often in Strasbourg over 1,000 times that we have to vote in a single week. It makes this something where you have time pressures which perhaps you shouldn't have, and certainly in Westminster we wouldn't have a problem like this one. What I would ask, though, if we're trying to cram so much into just a couple of days a month in Strasbourg and in Brussels, maybe there's a problem with the scheduling of debates and votes. We've already heard from Mr Moraes that there were all sorts of problems, and I had exactly the same problem. I tried to speak in a debate last night under Catch the Eye, where Catch the Eye was cancelled. Now, if we're not having proper debate, then the question should surely be that we need to have enough time allocated so we can have debates, and we need to have enough time allocated for the votes. And I would make that point very much independently of my feelings of this place and the institutions, because fundamentally things should be done in the right way, and they're not being done in the right way at the moment. So please don't take that as a personal criticism. I'm not criticising you personally, although of course I was criticising the member who was quite insulting. Thank you.
Mr. Lundgren, now there are two people asking for the floor who I'll take. You can make explanations of vote after that. Mr. Lundgren. President, the thing I take most exception to is your arrogant and paternalistic attitude towards certain members in the Parliament. I of the firm conviction that you have a political view, but you cannot express that political view when you are presiding over this session. You have to be completely impartial. Your personal political views are completely uninteresting. You should treat everybody equally in this chamber. Unfortunately, you do not do that.